Hello, good morning, and welcome to, or good evening, and welcome to this episode of the Gran Torino. And quick shout out to the live chat. Lady Rotha is with us. I'm expecting Inet and possibly Resignation and on to join us here in a few minutes. Going to read out a few articles that I have prepared for today's show. Welcome, welcome. Hello, John Andrews. Hello, brother. How are you? And QAnon's alien footage. How you doing, brother? I did see your interview, your YouTube clip. I'll be in contact with you shortly. Thanks for joining us in the live chat. Cynthia King, 5x5. Bruce, welcome aboard, brother. Thank you for joining us. Just going to run through a quick segment of articles that I've chosen to run through you. How you, Jane? Good to see you. Doc Sexy, how are you? And Bruce, QAnon, Alien, great stuff. Thanks for coming back to me there. And Inet Coder's in the live chat doing a bit of moderation. And Inet, I'd also like you to jump into the Discord as well.
Already there, buddy.
Oh, let me check now, make sure everybody can hear you. Say, give us a quick sound check there again, brother.
Yeah, double sound check, check, check.
Check, Chamo.
How's it going, everybody?
So I'll transition there. We've got AZAP from Vegas and Doc Sazexi. Perfect to see you. Inet, I have a few articles here that I want to read through from here in Ireland. Just for our American audience, we have a couple of people that you'll be well aware of joining us here in Ireland, giving a keynote speech. The first, hiya Jan, thanks for the sound check, 5x5. Lulu, yeah, Zuckerberg, we'll chase up on that. That'll take ages to go through. Zuckerberg is just about to go live and give his testimony. Jan
Uh,
Ziv, go ahead, brother.
Now you're gonna call that testimony? Okay, I thought it was a script. Go ahead. That's fine.
I think Mark's probably going to announce his resignation, something for resignation, and on to get his teeth into in a second. But anyway, Bill was in town and he was awarded the Freedom of the City of Belfast for the 20th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement. I hope. Hi Nancy, good to see you. I hope you are aware of the 20th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement. And Bill flew over at the behest of his good friend, Mr. O'Brien, who probably flew him over on his private jet. And Bill and Mr. Mitchell, Dennis Mitchell, were also in town, and our ex-Taoiseach, our ex-Prime Minister, Bertie Ahern, was also in attendance. Also leaders from Sinn Féin, what's her face, Mary Lou MacDonald, was also there present. But I'll just give you a quick shout or a quick read through of the article. It reads as follows. Let me just bring it up there so you can read along. Bill Clinton was awarded the Freedom of Belfast at Good Friday Agreement 20th anniversary, writes Francis Mulroney of the Irish Central. President Bill Clinton in Dublin. Leading figures behind the Good Friday Agreement will gather in Belfast today to mark its 20th anniversary. Former US President Bill Clinton and Senator George Mitchell will be conferred the Freedom of Belfast on Tuesday for their work in securing peace in Northern Ireland. That's today. On the 20th anniversary of the Good Friday Belfast Agreement, which was signed on April 10th, 1998, Clinton and Mitchell are recognised for their involvement as the leading figures in the Northern Ireland peace talks, gather in Belfast to mark the anniversary. On Monday evening, a special meeting of the Belfast Council voted 43 to 3 in favour of awarding the freedom of the city on Clinton and Mitchell. There follows the Twitter that the Queen's University Belfast read out or tweeted out, announcing that they would be giving out the Good Friday or the Freedom of the City of Belfast to the said aforementioned two people. Clinton himself spoke in Belfast on Monday night, delivering a keynote in which he emphasised the importance of compromise. This was seen as a nod toward today's Northern Ireland political leaders as the state remains without an executive after almost more than 14 months. The executive in Stormont initially broke down as a result of the Democratic Unionist Party, the DUP, and its leader, Arlene Foster's botched handling of a renewable energy scheme scandal. Talks to restore the power-sharing government again fell apart in February 2018. However, as the DUP and Sinn Féin failed to reach an agreement over an Irish Language Act, and Sinn Féin posted out there with a picture of herself, Bill, and Mary Lou MacDonald. I'd like to draw your attention to the colours worn. Purple being the colour Inet. Does that strike anything with you?
Yeah, it's pretty nefarious, the stuff that these guys are involved in. But I don't know, man. It's like there's things that they make it look like on the surface, but what's really going on behind the scenes, man, it's always something different, you know?
Yeah, there's symbolism is key in everything. Lady Rotha hits it in live chat. She hits it straight on the money. And we continue on with the article. The article reads, speaking on Monday, Clinton said that the 20th anniversary should be marked not for what happened, but for what can happen. The Irish peace was born out of a weariness of children dying and of lost chances, he said. Now, there's a statement, Ian. What do you think of that?
Yeah, well, again, you know, it to me, it's the cover, you know. And I believe Chris has joined us too. But yeah, yeah, I just think it's just a cover, man. This is just to me, it's another snow job.
Another snow job of them travelling around the world. Still free. Still free. We're still waiting for the hammer to drop. Is Chris in the live chat, or is he here?
Yeah, he's here with us.
Oh, great stuff. Thanks, Truth Hunter. You're welcome to jump into the Irish server if you want to speak with us. And again, anybody in the live chat or anybody that's involved in Ireland, if you're listening in, the link for the description in the Irish Q Ireland Discord server is in the description box. You could join up there if you haven't already got a Discord account, and you can come in here and be a part of the conversation as well. Carrying on with the article, the further you get away from that, the easier it is to take the absence of bad for granted and to live in this purgatory we are in now. It is a big mistake. And Belfast City Council tweeted out a picture from the 1998 of Senator George Mitchell and Bill Clinton at a dinner. They seem to be having a jolly good time. Senator Mitchell, who was the US Special Envoy to Northern Ireland, appointed by Clinton to oversee the Good Friday Agreement talks, also spoke on Monday night, adding that today's politicians in Northern Ireland must show the same kind of leadership. I don't think they or anyone else should take for granted the absence of violence, he said. I come from the US where we are plagued with the mass shootings, dozens, hundreds of our citizens, including school children. No society can assume that they don't have to do anything and things will be all right. It takes leadership, strong, effective, committed leadership. Fantastic, wise words. On Tuesday, Clinton and Mitchell will gather with other leading figures, including ex-British Prime Minister. Now, this is going to be interesting. Take note of this. And this is just fairly to document the happenings here now. And what we expect from the Q board to happen in the near future. So we keep an eye on these people here. The Prime Minister Tony Blair and former Irish Taoiseach or Prime Minister Bertie Ahern to mark the anniversary of the landmark deal in Queen's University Belfast. On April 10th, 1998, the agreement brought an end to 30 years of sectarian violence in Northern Ireland. The conflict had claimed some 3,000 lives. The deal received overwhelming support in a referendum in Northern Ireland and in the Republic of Ireland, starting off the re-establishment of devolved power sharing at Stormont, the establishment of cross-border political bodies with the Republic, and the reform of the Royal Ulster Constabulary, the RUC, into the Police Services of Northern Ireland, PSNI. And Queen's University Belfast tweeted out the class of 68. And on your screen there, I know that the image is very small, but in the link to the article you can see a few of the characters here. We have Sinn Féin leader Jerry Adams here on the far right with the red tie. Senator Bill Mitchell here standing between himself and former Taoiseach Bertie Ahern, and various other representatives. I see Mr. Trimble up here at the back, and I'm not too sure of who the rest of the people are. The agreement included the early release of around 500 paramilitary prisoners, as well as paramilitaries destroying their weapons, and also allowed for the principle of consent, where Northern Ireland would be allowed to decide to leave the UK if it was shown that the majority of the population wished to do so. So that's just a quick article there, just to bring you in to show you that the players are gathering together, the old players. And I'll remind you of the interview I did with Dr. Corsi and Mr. Charles Ortel, and the various connections between Mr. Ahern and I don't think Sinn Féin leader Jerry Adams was involved in that, but we spoke about Ireland Aid. I don't know if you caught that one, Inet. Ireland Aid contributed to the Clinton Foundation way back in '98 as part of the HIV to save some HIV people.
Well, see, that's another thing, right? If you track those I guess acts, right, of the Clintons, it seems like every time they get involved, everybody gets sucked into their vortex, right? And so whenever you see them involved, you should definitely be concerned. So it's good that you're going over this, Grant, because there's definitely something nefarious going on. If they're getting involved in like AIDS, as we now know, well, you know what? They were pushing bad AIDS drugs on a lot of people. A lot of people died. They died slow, painful deaths too, on top of it. And they didn't care, you know? And then you look at Haiti and all the stuff that was done over there, and all the billions of dollars that are up and missing now, conveniently, right? So, you know, I just say that whenever you see those people involved, man, there is definitely something nefarious, in my opinion, going on.
Absolutely. Just touch back in there with live chat here. Merv Will says the Clinton Centre charity in Enniskillen, they've got various offices scattered around the north there as well. And I believe that the speech in the DCU, Dublin Centre, or Dublin City University, which took place there on Friday, where Bill Clinton spoke, it was in the Clinton Institution, where he probably made some donations to have it named after himself in the new building there. Jennifer B says hi from California, or from CA. How you doing, Jennifer? Thanks for joining. And Minky makes it. Lovely to see you there. Light Switch says hello. And just transition back here to the Discord server where myself and Inet are the only two. And some of the research that we've been doing here, you can see some of the folder characters that we have on the left. You'll see info drops, general text, constitutional law, which we are starting to review and work through. We have connections with the Bilderberg Group, Irish Bilderbergers and Irish Globalists, not to mention people here shown in the photograph. I want to make sure that you can see it all there. And our very own Mr. Peter Sutherland, who unfortunately passed away there not so long ago, but who was the initiator of open border policies, and who was a fervent advocate for open border policies here in Ireland, and started off and is considered one of the leading globalists from Ireland. I see Chris has joined us in the server. Chris, how are you? Just want to shout out there and say hello to everybody.
Hello. Doing well. Hopefully going to have some sauce here for you on social networking from YouTube and other stuff, and connect that bridge.
Brilliant. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for keeping us up to date. And just to reiterate to you, for most other people are probably tied up with the script reading from Mr. Zuckerberg, the cardboard king of Facebook. Yeah, his time will come, and his resignation's probably still in a call there, but hopefully he'll come in before the end of the show, and we might have an emergency broadcast of the resignation show. You two guys are more than welcome to jump in on the Mondays as well. Don't forget to be around about 7:30, usually around 7:30. Usually put it out.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. I haven't been getting to sleep until like 5:30, 6 a.m. in the morning. So if I can work it out, I'll work it out. Looks like Resignation just joined us.
Yeah, it's are you in there?
No, hello everyone.
I can't see you on that list. I have to update that.
Hello, H made it.
He's in there.
Hello.
Yeah, when that thing's minimized, man, it's not gonna update there, Grand.
Yeah, I see it there. And NK.
NK's here too.
Who's NK? Great to have you on board there, NK.
Yeah, hello. Also from Germany.
Ah, guten
Hey, welcome.
Abend, I should say. Guten Abend.
Guten Abend, der Herr.
Ooh.
Lady Lydia Dara says hello, resignation and on. So you have one of your fans there already. That's to you, resignation. I wonder if you want to say hello back to her.
Hello.
Very
I will
good.
join the YouTube chat. Give me a second.
He's jumping in there. We've got all the moderators in here. So as you can see, the board fills up quite quickly. I have it restricted to 15, but it also means that we can just confer between ourselves and go through the various talking points. I'm going to keep these broadcasts down to 30 to 35 minutes because people really, zone out after about 40 or 50 minutes.
Yeah, I got something I can share with everybody real quick. As you guys can see, some of these liberal kids over here in America are eating these Tide Pods. I strongly urge you guys not to do this. Okay, just real quick tip there.
Yeah, I'm hoping the majority of our young audience would understand that not to eat the chemically induced washing up liquid that you use to clean your clothes. Don't eat that. That's not good for you. So I'll move on quickly to the second article, which has one of our firm favourites. Let me just select the scene here, and I'll transition over here. Oh, look who it is! It's the oven mitt fashionista, Mrs. Clinton, here to give us her view on what's happening with the 20th anniversary, that marked the 20th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement. This is reported in our own, the Irish Times, a paper of note and a paper of value. If you like to clean your wash tops or your countertops with newspaper, that's the only reason I would use it for. And Resignation and INET are in the moderation board. So if you have any chats, or if any people in the live chat want to ask any questions or want to bring anything to mention, our moderators are in there and are also here in the discussion board. So with a great warning there from INET, don't eat the washing up liquid. It really isn't good for you. So just to transition over here, Hillary says so much has happened since that night in Belfast almost 23 years ago. Thousands of people wrapped up against the cold filled streets outside City Hall. Children were held high, waiting for the lights on the Christmas tree to be switched on. When the bulbs flashed to life, the crowd cheered. After decades of violence, it felt like the first public outbreak of optimism. Now, Hillary goes onto a somewhat of a diatribe, and the link is in the description box if you want to read through it. It's from the Irish Times. But I wanted to scroll down because I read the article earlier on, and I think we'll all appreciate this, of Hillary's viewpoint of what was involved, or what she sees was involved in Brexit. And she says, I am deeply concerned about what is not being done in pursuit of a governing agreement. I am discouraged that the impasse has lasted so long, and I'm just wondering, those who refuse to come together to create a government, what is the future they expect? Now, I think the little bit that I was trying to get is further on down here, just at the end, because she makes the startling revelations and ties together Brexit, Russia, and the Trump presidential race. I mean, a year and a half later here, guys, and we're still talking about Russia. Can you believe that?
Man, I mean, I like Russia and all, man. It's just I didn't realize I'd be talking so much about it.
Yeah.
But we can't talk about the other Russia, can we? The uranium part, where we sold 20% of ours.
You heard about that live chat, Uranium One. We were all, Fusion FP and all the rest of that malarkey that's soon to be spilling out on world headlines, coming to a newspaper, a serious newspaper, newspaper to you. Oh, look, spitting over my words here. I do apologise. Anyway, Hillary says that in recent weeks in the UK Brexit referendum has been linked to fresh allegations around the misuse of personal data to influence the result, which echoes the claims surrounding Donald Trump's victory in the presidential race against Hillary Clinton. She says both require rigorous investigation. It worries me a great deal what we are learning about the manipulation of social media data, the fraudulent use of that to drive untrue messages, the role that Russia and other sources of money and influence play, both in Brexit and in the United States. I mean, the brass neck of the woman.
No kidding.
All of that bothers me, she continues, because our democracy has to be protected, and you cannot see something as serious as what we are now uncovering and not to worry about what comes next. It's not just looking backwards to Brexit or 2016, the US presidential election. If these people were successful, which it appears they were, then what do they do next? And you may have been on one side of the political divide in a referendum or on behalf of a candidate today, but you could be on the opposite side of the manipulation. This is a very real threat to democracy and to the manipulation of public opinion, she says. What do you think of that, Ina?
And I can tell you, again, these people get involved, right? They're just trying to pull their techniques and their games, right, over to your country, in which their influence can actually shape policy, right, that's going to be against you guys, your people, right, and your rights. And unfortunately, it's not so evident to people that don't watch and do their own research and don't watch how this stuff plays out. But I can tell you, whenever these people are involved, man, there's usually something shady going on. You know, they have a foundation, they get money from all over the world, big money. And at the end of the day, it's like 6%, right, of this foundation is recorded on the books as going out to good causes, right? The rest of it is expenses. Think about that for a minute. You've got, literally hundreds of millions of dollars, and you've got this little tiny 6% that is on the books looking like it's going out to help other people, right? And I don't know how good anybody here is at math, but my calculator says that doesn't add up.
Yeah, I concur. Just touching in with a live chat there. Scooter says, not to mention the AIDS-tainted blood to haemophiliacs in Canada under the Clintons. That's all going to start slowly slipping out into people's consciousness. But just remembering you're hearing tomorrow's news today, as Alex would say, which I kind of like. We're well ahead of the mainstream dinosaur news. Patriot 1776 says, what happened to the IRA defending its people, like against the deep state in Ireland? Great question, Patriot. Lady Rotha, when is this she-wolf to be removed? Can't come soon enough. The Matrix has you. I see your quote there. I don't want to frighten off our new audience. And Scooter says, what else have we got here? Yeah, there's a couple of well-choiced language words. NK, you're new to the discussion. What's your take on the Clintons? How far along the rabbit hole are you? And what do you think about the two of them visiting Ireland here this weekend? You still there, NK? Hello? Maybe Resignation, you could take over?
No, I'm here. Sorry, just need to find the key for my push to talk. I got a lot of information about the Clintons. I looked into it. I saw the film about Waco. Maybe you heard about this one.
Yeah. What
happens there, and that the Waco, that the people who died there were all former bodyguards of Bill Clinton. There is also a very interesting story. And there's a new film with right now about the CIA, Honduras, and the drug trafficking there. And there's a short scene about when Bill Clinton called the general attorney in, I think, a Kansas, and he get free from all charges because of this. Wow. There are some hints about what they really do. Arkansas was the country I remember.
Very good, great sources, and throws out the sauce on that whenever you get a chance, and we'll push that into the description box for people to say. Very interesting. You say the people that were in the compound were ex
Yeah.
bodyguards.
Yeah. They died from headshots, by the way.
Yeah. There are a lot of strange incidents about this. It was really cruel what they did there with all the child in the camp down, and they also use a tank to get into it, and the grenades and everything was very horrible. And behind it was Bill Clinton, actually.
Right. And so effectively, previous bodyguards of the Clintons were actually sent there, right? And these particular bodyguards, and this is where it gets great, right, people? It's like these bodyguards are there to help with the situation, and funny enough, they all die from headshots. So it looked like Waco was the issue, right? Or it could have been one of those false flags that you hear about all the time, where they create a big situation like that just to nefariously do something totally different. And so that's why I say every time these people are involved with something, there's something nefarious going on.
Resignation, what about yourself? You anything to add? Oh, Resignation's still on a call, not a problem. Quick check-in with the live chat. T. Rump asks, are there any liberals in the house? I doubt that very much. Mary Melcher says, oh my God, they were involved in Waco too. And when we're talking decades and decades and decades. I have to report quickly to you guys here in the live chat, the ones that know me. I haven't been around on the 24 soapbox for a while, possibly for the whole of last week. I went down a rabbit hole with the Bohemian Grove and all of Hollywood, the hip-hop gay mafia that seems to be going on, and all the Satanism and Luciferianism in the world of Hollywood, or Hollyweird. And once you get started, it can be quite a tricky hole to navigate. And I did find myself in a couple of tricky positions, but unfortunately I had a family member pass away also, so I had to attend funerals and take care of a few bits and pieces. But my God, I have to warn people, and I know you'd agree with me, Inet. You don't need to know and understand everything about what's going on in Hollywood, but just trust that the information that is coming out that purports about Satanism and all the weird shit that's going on over in that place is not without credible evidence. What say you, Inet?
Yeah, and another thing is, as this information's coming out, just prepare yourself if you choose to learn about it, because it's disturbing, man. I mean, it's stuff that it doesn't matter what country you're from. I mean, just as a human being, man, that you could not even fathom the level of evil that's really, it's just not this country, it's all over the world, but the level of evil that these people are about, and it's just very, very disturbing.
Lady Lydia Dara asks, Grant T, how do you recover? We are bearing burdens for which we are not designed. I totally agree. You gotta find the thing that gives you joy. For me, it's jiu-jitsu. I have to go and train. I lose myself on the mats for a couple of hours with the guys. You know, someone that's potentially trying to, what we say, tap you out or choke you out. But that gives me it enables me to empty the recycling bin of all the crap that I've seen. And you could choose to go to meditation. You could go to your local church. You know, whatever you find that gives you solace, but don't try and keep it all in. Just recognize that you can understand it, and recognize that if things are too serious for you, to back away from it and leave it. Don't go down there in rabbit holes. You know, just trust. As I say, trust your own sources of information. But we're going down there because there's some people need to understand, and people need to know when the time is right, that how these people are signed up to contracts, and then the initiation processes that they have to go through in order to accrue this fabulous fame and wealth. It's not just your talent that gets you there. You know, I seem to be going off on a sidetrack there, guys. Let's come back to Ireland.
Yeah, right.
Go off on a little tangent there, but let's go back to the ultimate fashionista that is Hillary Clinton, soon to be Gitmo prisoner 001 or 002. I'd say Barry's number one. What say you guys?
I would say, yeah, perhaps, especially if the truth comes out and his true identity is ever uncovered. I think he would definitely make it to the first spot.
So we'll just finish off the article. The article concludes, despite the denials by some of those that faced with allegations, does she believe the US presidential election result and the Brexit referendum were linked? I don't have enough information on my own to draw any conclusions, she says, about linkage between the Brexit campaign and the 2016 election in our country. But there's been some very troubling testimony given and documents disclosed that suggest some of the very same people were involved, and that there may well have been some crossover of information and funding that deserves to be examined. Look, if after a full, fair, independent examination of these fears are found to be unfounded, that's also important. But if we learn something from these investigations that should arm us to able to protect ourselves going forward, and that should be the concern of every elected official.
But don't look at mine. Don't look at mine.
Yeah, totally that, isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
Like she's just coming out. It's the, what would we call it? The it's not the Alistair Curry, the Saul Alinsky book of tactics that they use. It's
Sure.
blame your enemy for what you're doing yourself.
Exactly. So they're pointing their finger, but there's always three pointing back at them. So keep that in mind. And also for those who aren't aware of it, I suggest you can actually go right here on YouTube and look at this. It's Clinton Cash. You want to know how they've really infected everything? I mean, all kinds of countries. Go look at Clinton Cash by Peter Schweitzer. Real good piece there.
Give you a quick shout out there to Q Universe, that INET and some of the great patriots, Tinan City and a few other researchers are running Q Universe now. INET Code, our channel's now become Q Universe. Is that right, INET?
Yeah, that's right, man. We got Q Universe, and what we're doing is we're doing a weekdaily paper called Q Universe News. In addition to that, we're also doing a daily Q Drop episode. So I can actually kick out a link there for everybody that's interested. But yeah, we're working like around the clock, like I was saying before. And so anyway, guys, if you're interested in finding out, if you don't have time to sit the 24/7 live stream all the time, and you just kind of want to get abreast, these things are anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes long. So it's a real quick way for you to get your updated news.
Fantastic. And also Resignation and myself do a weekly show at the moment doing the resignation lists, which if you're following the Q boards, we've kept it a little bit offside or to the separate, just to give it maximum attention. And I believe we're up to 1,750 resignations as of Monday just gone, as of yesterday's show. I believe Resignation's still on a call. But links for yesterday's show are obviously just go through the YouTube channel and you can see the updated version spreadsheet. And I think 412 and on will be updating the Tableau to represent it in its entirety up to date. And NK, are you running any shows? Have you got anything you'd like to promote while you're here, brother?
No, I'm not running any shows. I'm just an IT guy.
Well, you're our favorite. You're the deep dive researchers. So your work is
Maybe we start something in Germany. We will see what will come, because the QAnon thing is quite important also for Europe, for Germany. A lot of things, because the people behind all this are acting. They have no nation. They are all in together, and I think if you look into people like Clinton's, I think they are only the puppets in the front. They're in the back more dangerous people than they are.
Yeah, absolutely, totally agree with you there, NK. Yeah, we're just tracking the indictments, the resignation lists. I think there's huge goings on behind the scenes. And if we can start seeing, I think the groundwork's nearly completed now at this stage. What do you think, Einat? I think we're not far off from a drop of some sort. April showers and all that.
Yeah, I think it's coming down now. After I don't know if anybody's heard that the FBI has raided President Trump's personal lawyer office and home, and they've actually taken all kinds of privileged information. So I believe it's going to be raining real soon.
I was listening to a Sticks Hexenhammer 666. Read caught up on some of his broadcasts there as well, and it's essentially, as you say before, this solicitor's office that was raided, or the lawyer's office was raided, was a previous lawyer. He's not engaged by President Trump at the moment, but it just shows the true desperation that the Mueller investigation is, that he's willing to do this kind of tactics. These are lawyer client privileged conversations. So I don't even see how they'd come in to any sort of jurisprudence that they'd be able to use it, because it's protected under the Constitution.
Yeah, and one other thing, December 21st last year, the bottom line is that the president has all the power. He actually signed an executive order indicating that we are under a national emergency, and that gives him access to all law enforcement. And so I believe something big is about to happen. I really do, because effectively, these people are committing sedition and treason by weaponizing our own government against us. And so I do believe it's going to break real soon.
It's going to have to.
Yeah, Chris. Sorry, Chris. What's going on with you've got is the Dreadnought out for public display, or is that just for 24/7 Soapbox?
It's up for public, but it's got a little bit of hiccup going on as far as what server we're going to be using. So hopefully we'll hammer that out today.
Why don't you give live chat and people in the audience a quick description of what the Dreadnought purports to be?
Dreadnought's going to be Dreadnought class live research for anything happening in the news and how it would relate to anything Q or Illuminati or other nefarious actors, and trying to research that item or topic and get the biggest, quickest picture, most complete picture possible, and capturing it so that way it doesn't disappear, and we could accurately give you what's going on.
Brilliant. And just for live chat here, No Regrets points out that Facebook has donated to 44 of the congressional members who are questioning him at the moment. Now, I like the sauce in it, but I could well truly believe that.
That's all. I posted in your text here also 2 documents. One of them is a report from Facebook themselves, and they're posting that's a group of 30 studies that they did where they can alter an election. They proved it.
Yeah, we covered in Quniverse News this morning's release some of that, what Zuckerberg's done. So you get a minute to check that stuff out. But yeah, if they're paying these people off and then you're going to go sit in front of them, answer questions, which by the way, and this is really funny, he's not going to be under oath, right? He's not going to be under oath, and he's going to be talking in front of them. So that should tell you exactly what this is.
Hey, Chris, where did you drop that link you said? Is it in this conversation, in this channel?
Yes, it is. It's, general text in
I got it
your server here. And the bottom one is part of the Q post that I solved today.
Ooh, you solved it, you say. Let me bring links up to them, and then I'll throw them out there to live chat.
Been working hard on that one.
Okay, we are buzzing around all over the place. And to you, Ina, while we're just sorting out through these posts here, what was the latest publication today in Q Universe regarding Q?
Yeah, so if you go over to Quniverse, the YouTube links that I've shared out there, like I said, it's like a 30-minute episode, but yeah, we've got a few things in there on Mr. Zuckerberg himself, and the fact that they actually changed their algorithm, and that algorithm change is really, really showing negative results against conservative people on Facebook. In addition to that, as Chris is alluding to, they've more or less, Facebook has paid a lot of these people that they're going to meet in front of in Congress today, right? They've actually paid like 85% of all the people that are going to be there. So it's ridiculous. It's a freaking sham, man.
not only that, they authorized the funding for the grants that Facebook got and get.
Right, right. And so you're going to see all those kind of deals like bubbling to the surface as it applies to all these bigger than thou organizations that are one line here. So yeah, definitely stay tuned. A lot of the stuff's coming out, and a lot of class action lawsuits are being formed also to go and actually hold these companies accountable for taking our personal information, right, and using it. And Facebook's tracking you even if you don't have a Facebook account. How about that one? And so anyway, it's all this stuff that's coming out, guys.
Fantastic stuff. That's great research there as well, Chris. I've just had a look through it there. We'll have to put something together another time. It's very a bit too in depth there just to throw out here at the moment, because we are coming up on the 41 minutes.
Last minute. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem, brother. We'll store that away in the general text, and we'll go through that again at another time. Just touch in quickly with the live chat before we shoot off and sign off here today. I think we're going to keep it in around about 45. But the purpose of today's show was just to point you out you could see that the Clintons are here in town, and their entourage of supporters were up there to join up and speak with them and see them. And I would surmise to get their further instructions as to what's actually happening, because don't forget, we have the Ireland Aid transaction between the Irish government and the Clinton Foundation, which Mr. Charles Ortel, I'm hoping to get back on, might go into a little bit more detail, but he'll be speaking on that further as more and more, I think probably in the second year of the investigations, because Dr. Corsi told us these prosecutions and these tribunals that we're expecting could take anything up to about 2 years just to process before we even get a chance to come across here into Ireland. You got anything quickly to add there, Ina? Chris?
Yeah, I'm just popping the link back out there for anybody that's missed it. Check out that today's episode. It's pretty cool. It's pretty interactive, and a lot of good patrons working real hard on bringing everybody out accurate information. But yeah, if you want to learn more about that, so as we go through the paper, we actually go over different articles, and we also provide the links in a separate thing, which will be under the video. So anyway, guys, definitely enjoy it and leave your comments for sure.
Chris, you all good there, brother? I think I'm gonna sign it off there.
All good.
Oh, thanks, Chris. Unfortunately, Resignation wasn't able to come off the call to join us to give us any updates on the resignation list, but we'll have it again. We'll have our chance again next Monday. I'd like to thank everybody in the live chat for joining us here. 61 watching there now, 35 likes. Smash that like button, please, people. It all helps with the algorithms. You know we desperately need them, just so that they know that the platform is building. I'd encourage you to watch the last interview that I did. It'll be in the interview section with Mr. Herman Kelly, who I predict will be doing great things for here in Ireland in the future. As we brought to you Mr. Kevin Sharkey, who's now running for the Irish presidency, along with others that are soon to present themselves. But Mr. Herman Kelly works with Nigel Farage in the European experiment that is Brussels, and they're doing their utmost to shine light on the darkness that works in there of the communist totalitarian ideology that stems out of there. It's nothing democratic coming out of that thing at all. And so with that live chat, I'd like to say thank you very much for joining us this week. Hope to see you all again next week. I'd like to thank my guests on this week's show, Inet Coder, Resignation Anon, Chris Hunter, and our latest guest, NK. Pleasure. You want to check out there, guys?
All right, guys. Well, look, thanks a lot for joining. And as you guys know, Grant is going to have a lot more really, really cool stuff coming. Definitely, when you have a minute, register to the Q Europe Discord server. And also, if you are interested, the Q Universe YouTube out there. And thanks a lot there, Grant Torino. Definitely appreciate it, man.
Grant Torino, Chris Hunter, thank you. Have a good day, man.
Yeah, speak to you all soon. NK, do you want to sign off there, my friend?
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. Okay, live chat. This is Gran Torino signing off for this week's edition of Canary in the Coal Mine. Thank you again. Thank you all once again for joining us, and hopefully see you all again next week. And we'll sign off with our usual video monologue that was given to us by Dr. Smith, who I'll always be eternally grateful. Thanks for your work, and I hope you're recovering well. Take care, everybody.